Hi, everybody. Welcome to Live Stories Podcast. I am Shara Goswick, your host. There's no guest today. It's just me because I'm celebrating 3 years of Life Stories Podcast. I am not what you call a long term planner. I am married to someone who is a long term planner, but I didn't think about how long I would be doing this when I started, and I don't have any idea how long I'll continue doing it. I know I'm having fun. I'm loving it. It's a lot of work, and it's still all just me. But I really enjoy getting to meet people and talk to them on this platform. This has been such a gift to me. I hope it has been to others. And I have to say thank you to everybody that has listened. I find out all the time people that are listening that I had no idea was listening. I'm always just amazed that people are doing that. And it always just makes me so happy to find out I've been listening to your podcast. Well, I didn't know that. That's great. Thank you for listening. Whoever's listening, thank you for listening. Thank you to everybody that shares posts. Thank you to those that comment, that have left reviews. Thank you for all of that because you are my why. I want to be known as an encourager. And I do this for the people that I get to talk to, and I do it for the people that it encourages. I've said this before, I'm very picky about who I have on here. And if I have someone on this podcast, it means I believe in what they're doing. I think it's important and I think it matters. And so I get very excited to share people's work, to ask them questions about it and to encourage them. And so they're the reason that I'm doing this, and you listeners are the reason that I'm doing this. So thank you. Thank you for being here. I am going to tell you some things about my podcast, and I apologize for looking at my notes, but I can't remember everything. So I have some stuff I wanted to share just from this past year, and then I have some awards. I thought it would be fun to give away some awards for people who have been on the podcast in the past year. I probably could have done the whole 3 years, but anyway, I did the past year. I just thought it would be fun. Like I said, I believe in their work. I believe in what they're doing, and I think it's important. I think it should be pointed out. So that will be fun to do. So this past year, I've interviewed 96 people. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people that I've gotten to talk to. Some of my episodes have been more than one person, just a handful, not many. But I've interviewed 96 people this year, which is incredible. When I was looking at doing awards, I started writing out just a little line of each person, like the work that each person was doing. And it's amazing to me, all the different subjects that we have covered this past year. And I thought about reading them, but that's a lot to read. So I'm not going to do that. You can go back and look if you haven't listened. A lot of authors, I'm talking to a lot of authors. And if you are new here, I will tell you that if I promote a book on this podcast, I've already read it. I will not promote a book on here that I have not read and that I don't think is something you should read. Does that make sense? I I will only promote books that I think you should read, books that are good. I've had someone reach out to me before. They said that they follow my podcast and that they loved it and that they had a book they wanted me to read. And I read 3 pages of it and I realized they were lying about everything because if they thought that is the kind of podcast I have, they know nothing about it. So I have to be careful. And, I don't think it's fair to the author if I talk about your book and pretend like I know what I'm talking about when I haven't read it. I just don't think that's fair. And then I don't think it's fair to you to encourage you to read a book that you may be very disappointed in. So anyway, my little spiel on reading. But I talked to a lot of authors this year, a lot of people that have started nonprofits, people that are volunteering in different places, just people doing incredible work. Man, what a gift that I get to talk to them on this platform. I'm still working on my goal to speak to someone in every state in the US. I think I have 13 left. I got 2 last week, which was awesome. Oregon and Kansas, I got those. But I still have several left. So if you go to my website, lifestoriespodcast.com, and you scroll down to the map, all the states that are filled in are ones that I have already talked to somebody in. The ones that are blank, those are the ones I still need someone in. So if you know of a nonprofit or some kind of an organization or something that's doing good, that's helping others in any of those states, send me an email. Let me know about it and I'll look into it. But I really would love to talk to somebody in every 50 states. I think that would be great to be able to do that. I have been interviewed 5 times this year, which is fun. It is fun. One of them is not posted yet. It should be, and I'll have it on my website when it is. But that's been fun to be on the other side. The very first time I was interviewed, which I think it's been over a year, um, I kept thinking of questions to ask her. Like, it was hard for me to get out of question asking mode. I kept thinking of things I needed to ask her, and I'm like, wait, that's not my job right now. Just to be here and answer her questions. So that's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed doing that. I went to my very first podcast convention ever in my whole life. Really, the last 3 years. The first thing I've ever been to, I went to in August in Dallas. So much fun. It was perfect for me. It wasn't huge. There was a lot of people, but it wasn't too overwhelming and too big. I learned some great information. I'm still processing through notes that I've taken and pictures of screens that I took while I was there. And I got to meet great people. I got to meet Alex and Leisha Sanfilippo, which I was very happy about. If you don't know them, they founded Podmatch. They were very kind to me, very sweet, and it was really neat to get to talk to them in person because I've emailed them 5 billion times since I joined Podmatch about a year ago. So they were very gracious, and they were really fun to talk to. I enjoyed that thoroughly. I met a lot of other people. I met Junaid. If you're in the podcast world, you've seen Junaid. Super Junaid is his handle on Instagram and everywhere. Super nice. I got a picture with Alex. I didn't get a picture with Junaid. Well, I did, but he has it, and I never got a copy of it. So, who else? I met Jennifer Longworth. She was incredible. She's a great speaker, and I talked to her multiple times. Super helpful in some of the changes I was making, decisions I was making for my podcast, and just it was really, really good. Reese Brown, who she was on my podcast recently, and I was on hers. That's the one I'm waiting on to be posted. Wonderful, just sweet, sweet girl. So that was a great place to connect. I felt like a podcaster in that place. So that was fun. And I want to do that again. I probably won't travel very far, but if one comes back to Dallas, I would like to go again. Also, I got to participate in Podcasting Made Simple Live. Podmatch, which is a program I'm a part of, and if you've heard me for any length of time, you know how much I love this program. Podmatch is where I get a lot of my guests, and they do a quarterly, I guess it's quarterly, virtual, like a conference online. And I got to participate in that. Alex said I did a good job. I'm not so sure about that. I think my video was okay. Answering questions on the spot kind of flustered me a little bit, so I don't know that I answered all my questions. But I did make a lot of connections afterward. People connected with me on social media. They said that some of, what I talked about was very helpful. And I talked about your why, knowing the power of your why, knowing and standing on the power of why you're doing what you're doing, because when times get tough, that's what you're going to be holding on to. If I was starting this podcast because I wanted to get rich, I'd have quit a long time ago. If I was doing it to have millions of followers, I would have quit a long time ago. That's not my goal. But even when I'm not meeting the goal that I would like, it gets very frustrating. And it would be very easy to just say, I'm done. I'm good with this, and walk away from it. But I remember why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I know right now this is where I'm supposed to be. I know that I am to be an encourager, and this is a great platform to be able to do this. And I love it. I love getting to meet people. So that was my topic for Podcasting Made Simple Live, was the power of your why. I got to meet Justin Guarini. Do y'all know who that is? If you're American Idol fans, he was runner-up to Kelly Clarkson in season 1, but he's done a million other things since then. Super talented. And he has a business with Kim Walsh-Phillips, and they help people, they prepare them and help them be comfortable and confident on a big stage to give talks and speeches and, speak at conferences or whatever. He helps with the physical side of it, your body language and standing with confidence in the way you speak. And she helps with the business side of it, helps you get gigs and the best way to, manage it all. They have a great business. So if you've ever wanted to be a part of that, like, be able to be a speaker and learn, they have a lot of great courses online, very inexpensive and super helpful. They're very, very, very helpful. But that was really fun because it's Justin Guarini. Like, I've seen him on TV. It's very cool. And he was super sweet, very, very kind, very, very sweet. It's been a great year. It's been a great year. I do not go back and watch. I don't go back and watch my old episodes just to do it for fun because to me that is not fun. But I know that my confidence has grown dramatically, and I probably said this last year on my second anniversary. My confidence has grown dramatically since I started, for sure, but even in the past year it has. There are still times when I get a little flustered, but I'm learning to get past that. I will say I'm doing 5 awards, so 5 different people. I've taken clips from them, and I told my daughter, I really like my hair in some of those videos, and it was a lot longer, so I'm thinking I'm gonna let it grow out again. Nobody cares, I know, but I do. I just kept thinking, "Man, I did not realize how long my hair was." So, anyway, that was just a little side note. Okay, I do have 2 announcements. Number 1, besides the awards. Number 1, I am going to do something I've never done before, and I'm going to take a break in the month of December. I will still post on social media. I may post every day, and it won't be a video, but I'm going to repost some of the videos that I've done in the last 3 years. I'll repost them with notes and just my take on, our conversation at this point. But I'm going to take a break from posting new videos. I will still be recording in December, and I will come back strong at the beginning of the year, but I have not taken a break since I started this in 2022. And I think I'm going to take a little break this year. Just take, a month off, and I'll have lots ready to go at the beginning of the year. My other announcement is I am starting a subscription service. It will just be Apple Podcasts for now. I will start it for sure at the beginning of the year, possibly sooner, and I'm going to do 2 episodes a month. And the reason it's only on Apple right now is because Patreon is their other option for video, and right now I just cannot take that on. It is a lot to do what I do as it is. I cannot take on another thing, more editing video. So maybe eventually down the road I can do that, but not right now. And I would love to do it on Spotify, but I need more Spotify listeners. If y'all want me to do it on Spotify, get me more listeners on Spotify, because right now Apple is the one I have the most on, or the one that I qualify for. I don't have enough listeners on anything else. So it will be audio only. It will be conversations with different people in my life, or it'll be just me. It will not be what I would put on a regular podcast. I believe I have talked my daughter into doing an episode with me. When she hears this, she may be texting me. But I asked if she would do an episode with me so that we could talk about books, because we read the same kind of books. We share books, and we like the same stuff. And so she's very shy. She wasn't jumping at the chance, but I think I've talked her into it. So, things like that. It will be good topics. It will be not a lot of editing. It will be no script at all. But this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and this is the way I'm going to do it. I think it's going to be cheap, like $3 a month. It's not going to be much. And I'm going to do 2 episodes a month. So I'm excited about that. I think that's going to be fun. I'm excited about the people that I'm going to get to talk to on there. And I will make sure everybody knows. I will post it everywhere whenever I start it. So if you're interested, I would love for you to join on in. Okay, so let's get to the award. The first award is the Changemaker Award. And this award is going to Dr. Amanda Cooley. Amanda Cooley started Unlimited Dreams Christian Learning Center in Mississippi, in Laurel, Mississippi. My husband and I watch Hometown. I don't know if you've seen that show on HGTV, but we watched her and we saw her on that. And as I talked to her in the interview, I told her episode made me cry because what she's doing is incredible. She started a tuition-free school for kids in Laurel, Mississippi. Initially, she wanted to only go to a certain grade, but now they have kids that are graduating and going to college. She's doing incredible things. She's changing lives in that town. But the reason I did in that episode is because she was so humble. She's got multiple degrees. she is doing this great thing. I said, "You're someone who could be very prideful and pat yourself on the back and think about what you're doing." But she was so humble and she was so fun to talk to. And I absolutely love what she's doing. So she is getting the Changemaker Award. Here is a little clip of my conversation with Amanda where she talks about why she started this school.
Unlimited Dreams Christian Learning Center started first in my heart before I even started to think about it
Yeah.
because I have Greater Expectations Children Learning Center, which is a daycare slash preschool.
Oh, okay.
Well, years ago, I started in, I think, 2015,
Uh-huh.
and we added I guess, an after school program
Uh-huh.
in there. And as the years went by, we kept noticing that the kids, like they were just at a standstill, like nothing was
Wow.
happening, nothing was changing. So COVID hits, and it's just in my mind, and I'm like, oh Lord. I said, this is gonna get worse. They was like, the schools are closing, there's no backup plan, there's no this, there's no that. They said, what are we gonna do going forward? And so some schools went to technology. Well, if you ain't never talked to children about using the technology and their parents are not from a technology now, you heard Ben say doctor, 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 but let me tell you, I'm real old school.
Yeah.
I'm not very technical. I feel right out everything. I make notes. We still teach at the board. We don't just mash print. We write on the whiteboard and the chalkboards. And so I said, oh God, what are we going to do? These children, they're going to fall so behind because it took months for the technology to even come through. And
Right.
so I told my husband, when they made the announcement, I had 85 kids at my daycare at the time, including after school. And it was like 60 children there all day and then 25 after school.
Wow.
And so I said, oh my God, this is only gonna get worse. So that Monday it did get worse.
Yeah.
We showed up and nobody was at work but me and my twin
Wow.
baby that was finna be 2 years old. So when we showed up and nobody was there, I told him, I said, well, it's happened. I said, it's over because there's no backup plan, no nothing. I said, but this is not about COVID. And he said, what is it about? And I said, you know how God told me to start a school. And I
Yeah.
kept saying, no, I don't have no money. I said, I have to answer now. He said, well, you don't play with him.
Right.
He said, you got to do what he tell you to do.
My next award is the Bridge Builder Award. And this one is going to Amanda Tristel and her daughter Lita. They started Autistic Wings Dance Studio. Now if you've listened to me for any amount of time, you know that I have a soft heart for kids with special needs and especially those with autism because I have a son with autism. And I can pick them out in a crowd and I just want to go gravitate to them because I have a heart for that. You know, God has softened our hearts for people with special needs. And really, I wish everybody's heart was softened for people with special needs because you need to be kind and you need to be gracious to people who have just that. They have special needs. These people have needs that are different than ours. Anytime I get to talk to somebody that has to do with special needs or autism or anything like that, I get excited because I can relate. I know what that's like. Well, Amanda and her daughter started a dance studio because her daughter Lita loves to dance. She loves to tap, and they were having a lot of problems with her in dance classes. People, a lot of times when they don't understand something, it's like people avoid it or they don't know how to handle it. They don't know what to say or what to do. And I get that. I get that sometimes people don't understand. But when you're on the receiving end of it, it's very difficult. It's very frustrating and it's very difficult. And so I understand their frustrations. They were having a lot of trouble. And so they finally just decided to start their own dance studio, which is amazing. It's incredible. And they were fun to talk to. I love that Lita joined in the conversation. She is a hoot. She is very funny. She does not have a problem saying what's on her mind. So I loved talking to them. Here is a little bit of our conversation.
So, Autistic Wings Dance Company was completely started because of Lita. As I mentioned when I reached out to you, she's autistic. She's level 1 ASD. When she was diagnosed at 3, she was diagnosed as completely nonverbal, non-receptive, non-expressive. She's learned to talk, as you can kind of tell now.
Yes.
But all that came through dance. She'd had like 3 years of intensive therapy. The moment we started dance is the moment language kicked off for her. The problem is autism is still very misunderstood. So even dance studios that were like, we're welcoming, we're inclusive, they weren't coming to us and asking, what are the accommodations she needs? What do I not understand? Because they were Googling it, and Google is not the best place to get answers.
No.
I don't think the adults meant to do it. She's a child. She disagrees with me. But a lot of the adults were accidentally bullying her over things. Like, she's got severe dyslexia. So adults were like, well, why don't you just focus harder and you'll be able to read the words?
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Her voice, because she has autism, her voice took a lot longer to drop like it does for most kids. And still, when she gets nervous, like a lot of us, her voice goes higher.
Mhm.
And she was getting told, "You're a baby." She had some teachers who confused developmental delays, with autism, and so she finally got a little fed up, and we were like, "You need to teach autistic kids differently, so why don't we just make our own dance studio?"
That's amazing that I mean, that's a big feat. The next award is the Purpose Pathfinder Award. Now, I have to say, I'm a little bit partial to this next guest. This is the honest truth. In all of the people that I have interviewed, no one has been ugly to me. Everybody has been very kind. They've all been very kind. The people that have been ugly do not end up on the podcasts. They just don't. Everybody that I have dealt with has been very helpful and kind. There are some that are kinder than others. There are some that, if I had an award for the most helpful and most respectful guest I've ever had, it would be Brienne Rush, because that's who's getting the Purpose Pathfinder Award. That's not why, but she would be if I had that. She developed the Independence Lab, and in a minute when I show you her clip, she talks about why she started this. It's for kids. It's not kids. To me, they're kids because I'm a grandmother. Um, Young adults who are starting their careers. Brienne realized that one of the things that she had that helped her land her dream job very quickly and keep it and get promoted and have raises and all the things pretty quickly is that she had emotional intelligence. Not everybody has that. Not every grown adult has emotional intelligence. But she realized that was an issue, and so she created this program for these young adults who want to learn that, want to learn how to land a great job, that it's not just about what you have on paper. It's not just about your degree and what you know how to do. There's a lot more to it than that. And I think her program is very important. I mean, do we not need help with this next generation of people stepping into the workforce? Do we not need help with that? Here's a clip of our conversation. Tell me, what led you to start the Independence Lab? Because I think this is such a great thing.
Well, thank you. And thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I was able to land my dream job just out of college. It was an unpaid internship that turned into this amazing opportunity in New York City. And after that, I moved into marketing and became the head of a content marketing department at an agency, and then moved into the same company, but a role that's completely different. So, my role now in my day job is VP of operations for this agency. And looking back at, connecting those dots and how I was able to get promotions, get this dream job, I realized I wasn't actually like the best writer. I wasn't the best, when it came to technology. But what I did have was emotional intelligence. So I was very much able to understand what my boss's needs were or my clients' needs were and actually go ahead and see those challenges and bring solutions to the table. And I also was learning how to communicate very well. So all those things added up in a way that helped me, like I said, land this really cool job in New York City and then get promotions and salary increases down the line. And so what I wanted to do is really help young women understand that it's not just the hard skills that are going to get you into the companies that you want to work at or the promotions that you're looking to get. It's this idea of soft skills and emotional intelligence. So that's why I started the Independence Lab, is to help them develop that side of their professional lives. And I'm very excited to help them do that because it's something that absolutely anybody can learn.
The next award is the Light Bringer Award. And this one is going to Elaine Poggi of Healing Photo Art. Now, she said in our full interview that the legal name of her nonprofit is very long and it's something else. But on social media, she is Healing Photo Art. She explains why she started this program, but what she's doing is she helps provide photographs and art for hospitals all over the world. I'm going to let her tell you why she's doing what she's doing, but I think this is so powerful because it sounds so simple. A picture, a piece of art, something that she took with her camera. It sounds very simple, but if you're in a hospital room and you need some hope, even just a simple picture could be encouraging. Even a simple piece of art could be encouraging to you. If nothing else, a conversation piece to have to talk to somebody about. She explains why she's doing this, but I thought this was incredible and she deserved to have the Lightbringer Award. Here's a little bit of our conversation. Your organization is called Healing Photo Art, and I would love for you to tell me why you started it.
Well, back in 2001, my mom ended up in the hospital in Barnes Jewish Hospital in St. Louis, and she was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and she ended up being 3 months in the hospital, and then she passed away in the hospital. But during that time, I put my photos that I had at her home of Florence and Tuscany, and I put them in her room, and everybody would come and look at the photos. I stuck them on the wall, and it would make it more pleasant for her, and also it created conversations for when people would come in, the doctors and nurses, the cleaning people. "Oh, that's a pretty picture. Where's that from?" And so it kinda took her out of her hospital mood whenever she could talk to people about my photos.
Yeah.
And then after she passed away, I went back to Florence and I said to my family, "I could do this, you know, I could do this for other hospitals." And so I organized myself and it became a nonprofit a year later,
Mhm.
in November 2002.
Where do your pictures come from?
Well, I take photographs of nature, and my photos are of mountains because I love the Dolomites here in Italy. They're so beautiful. Animals, I love animals, and so I take lots of pictures of animals all over the place, and, Tuscany is a real a favorite, topic also because Tuscany is probably one of the most beautiful places in the world, I think.
Yeah.
Um, and then, I was the only photographer for the first 8 years, I guess,
Mhm.
but I had people writing me. They were The other photographers were saying, "Hey, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Can I participate?" And so I brought it to my board, and they agreed. I say, "Let's open it to other photographers." So now we have just passed the 500 contributing photophotography mark.
The last award, I wish I could give everybody one. I probably could. If I went through all 96 people, I could probably tell you an award I would give to each one of them. But who is going to sit here and listen to me talk about that? The last award is the Confidence Catalyst Award. This is somebody who is sparking courage and helping others boldly step into new opportunities. And she was so fun to talk to. This one is going to Mary Boker of Queen City Lynx Ladies. Mary wanted to learn to play golf, but she did not have a lot of confidence in her ability to play. And she wanted to find people to play with, but that was difficult to do. So she just started her own organization where women can meet up and play golf together. And it's a social event, but it's also athletic. It's also getting out and being in the sun. There's so many benefits to this. But Mary was so fun to talk to. And if you go follow her, which you need to go follow her on Instagram because her content is so fun and she makes what she's doing, she makes people want to be interested in it. And I am not a golfer. I don't say I used to. I've played golf before. Maybe 5 times. Not that many. But I love her content. I love what she's doing. So go follow her on Instagram after you listen to all of this. But here's a little bit of our conversation.
Started pretty similar to yours that you said you tried it a couple times and
did not feel like you're very good at it. Kind of, we're sort of ambivalent to, okay, this is fine. And that's how it started many years ago. My organization is called Queen City Links Ladies, and I am on a mission to help women find, learn, and enjoy playing golf.
Yeah.
And it started many years ago that I tried golf when I was a professional after graduating college, working full time in my first full time job. I went out with some friends and mostly guys after work to try to play golf and went right on the course. I think I rented clubs. We played 9 holes. And to me, it felt like an eternity. It was not a fun experience. Like, I don't really know what possessed me to try it, but I was in that phase of life where you just kind of go for things and you try things and never really thought twice about it. And in 2020, with COVID, just when the world shut down, it was probably the fall of 2020, and I don't really know kind of what made me. It might have been just the media or people talking about, well, golf is a safe sport because it's not a contact sport. You can be outside and you can still be social, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, maybe I'd try it again. Maybe I give it another whirl. What I kept running into was it was tough to find people to play with. It's you want to be social, right? In addition to being athletic and sporty. So I did have a couple friends, but they eventually they were like, okay, Mary, you know, oh, we don't really have time for this. Like, we like to play golf, but we're not as passionate about it as you. And so really I kind of created Queen City Links Ladies out of my desire to find other women who were passionate about learning and also, wanted to learn. So I have to say thank you again. Thank you to everybody that has sent me messages this past year, even these past 3 years. I I have so many people to thank. I mean, too many in my life, I think. But everybody that has commented, um, everybody that sends me a message or shares the episode or, tells me in real life that they listened to it and that they loved it. I am so thankful for you. And even the people that don't, even the people I don't hear from, even the people that are listening that never comment, never say anything, I still thank you for listening because there are people listening. I do have growth. It's just very slowly, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm not here for the numbers. I'm not here for the money. I'm here because I love getting to do what I'm doing. And I'm here because of you. So thank you for being here.